Hey guys, so here's an update on the Chevy Derby truck build. Getting a lot of stuff done on it. It's pretty well stripped out at this point. So I'm just trying to think of what all has happened since the last video. So I've got everything else stripped out from underneath here except for those fuel lines. Still got to snag those out. Then I've got the window bars marked where those are going to go, cleaned off, ground down. I've also got them cut and trimmed to length, so basically at this point all I got to do is just weld them in, and then the window bars are done. Got the keys zip tied in there just so for now so I don't lose it. Then I've got the floor patched here. If you guys remember, there was a big hole in there, so took some sheet that I had here, bent it, which can always be a little bit of a chore. You can't see my marks on it, and got the angle right, and just got that floor all patched up, and now it's good and solid, but I've got it screwed to the door, so at this point the driver's door is shut. I've got the handle off, and I've got the door locked, so it's good to go. It's one little tip that I always keep including that I think some guys even forget. You know, close the door, lock it, and then get rid of your linkage. That way the door is already locked, and it's one more thing to hold it together and keep it from falling apart on you, because I've seen doors come open in the Derby, and it's, you know, if you would have just locked the door, that problem would have went away. But at the moment the passenger door still works, so I can still get in here to make things easier, and at this point I'll probably leave that alone. Even if I tack the cage in, I'll probably still keep from welding that door shut just for a little while until I get the motor and transmission in this thing. And then I've cleaned out all the junk that was in the back and put in more junk, so to speak. Just got all the miscellaneous car parts and pieces. There's my wiring harness just thrown in a box, my air cleaner, shifter, GoPro mount, electric fan, some foam. Got to get some, get another big chunk of foam for the door so I can finish that up. Then I got the gas tank there. Not sure if I'm going to use that one because it got a pretty hardy dent in the thing, but we're going to check it out. And then I got the window bars sitting over there. So those are all cut, ground, ready to go. And then I got the hitch balls cut off. So that was a nice little challenge. But at this point, yeah, it's all stripped underneath. Got the gas tank, exhaust, parking brake, all that good stuff. That's all off and taken care of. So what's next? Well, you can see what's sitting over here, guys. Got the motor lined up. This is the Windsor that's been featured in some of my other videos, and from those of you who follow our page a little more close, you guys are familiar with this thing, and it runs pretty darn good. Got a new carb for it for this year, so we're going to give it a shot. Hopefully it works out well. And so yeah, it's just I pulled it out of the corner where I had it stored for the last winter. Got it sitting up here in the middle of the floor. We'll probably roll a little closer to the truck in a little bit, but got to get the core support out, so that way I can start measuring and mock up the engine and transmission and getting that kind of into place. You know, shoehorning a Ford engine into a Chevy truck just seems wrong because a lot of you guys run Chevy engines, but I run a Ford engine because that's what I have. And with the amount of work that's done to it, I'm silly to not run it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out how to shoehorn that Ford into this Chevy truck, and it ought to be a bit of a screamer by the time we're done with it. So I'm going to take out the core support, which really isn't too difficult in these particular trucks from what I can see. Only got a couple bolts there. We got, looks like 3 along the side. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 along the bottom. And then just a repeat on the other side. So what is that? We got 6 and 8, so we got 14 bolts. So we're going to take those out, then the core support hopefully will just come on out. Oh, there's a couple more bolts in the front, so we'll have to take those out as well. But for the most part, not too bad. Hopefully a couple bolts and this thing just pulls right out. So we'll get the core support out, and then that'll give us a nice open front to work with, getting this engine and transmission to fit up in here and start mocking it up. And I'm definitely going to have to modify the engine mounts. I never get that lucky, especially with the Ford engine into a Chevy. But we're just going to see what happens and how everything's going to line up. With a little bit of luck, maybe it'll be in our favor. So, but you got to get busy, you know, and get this thing knocked out. So we're just excited. I definitely want to get this engine in it. Excited to see what this thing will do and tear up the track with it. So there you go, guys. That's where we're at. It's time to start getting this thing built. We got it all stripped out, and now we're in the building phase, and this is where it gets fun because you start to see the finished product. And still not sure on the paint scheme. I've already had a couple of you guys ask me about that, and not really sure exactly what we're going to do. We're probably going to do a bright colored something or other, but kind of play that one by ear. Still got a few weeks before I have to worry about throwing any paint on it. So give it some thought and see what happens. So there you go, guys. Until the next video, we'll talk to you later.